So go ahead and walk her through the course. You can kind of go whichever direction that you want, left, right, from one cone to the next. The main thing is to practice your leadership skills with her.
Okay.
And do you have treats?
Not with me.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's okay. Especially for Thank you. Especially for walks and stuff at first, you'll probably want to get like a little treat pouch and just some treats because it really helps to keep her motivated.
So just work on heel and sit and all that.
Yeah, just having her just follow you around
Okay, Lily.
because you want to get used to, like I said, that leash pressure and then, yep, that redirect right there. So when
Good.
she,
Lily, come.
and right there, good.
Good.
Good, there you go. Very good. There you go.
Place.
Good. Alright, now what I'll do is I'll trade you. So one thing that you'll want to work with is just your leadership skills. Because a lot of times you just get used to, if you want to, a lot of times you get used to it a little bit too involved or distracted with where she's doing. And a lot of the training relies on her doing most of the work. Learn to kind of just follow you. So I'll show you what I mean. It'll be kind of subtle, but
I see what you mean. Yeah.
and it's just subtle in charge. It's just here. Why don't I just give you this? Make it easier.
Can I give you this?
Yeah, it's less micromanaging on my part, but I'm just very consistent with as soon as she goes off track and feels that pressure. When she redirects, I let her know that she's doing the right thing now and to continue following me. And then after she follows for a while, I'll give her the treat. But you want to kind of be very focused on on where you're going and when she redirects to you are pretty much the other things instead of focusing on like guiding her or calling her to you and things like that. Good, there you go. It's a good way to keep her engaged as well.
Really?
Good. Good. There you go.
Lily, come here. Please.
Good.
Alright.
Much better.
A little better.
Alright. Did you want to give it a shot?
Alright, you did really well. Both of you. Wow.
So just like a very small change in mentality can really affect the outcome.
Did she run off with you? Like, did you let her
Uh,
off leash? Did she take off?
Um,
Did you notice?
no, I don't think he had a. I'm trying to think if I did it as much with her because I know, on the last video yesterday we did it with the other pups. I think I did it mostly just to leave it practice with her, but there might be a clip in there too
Yeah.
where I just
She's not. She doesn't tend to be a runner.
no, not unless there's like another dog or a rabbit. I think she and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
she and Willow, yeah. That was the only time that I can really remember like that they kind of really got amped up and I had to hold them and redirect them. But other than that, they're pretty good. If you were following her or had her following you because you had a sandwich in your hand, would probably be a pretty safe way to do off leash as well. Good, right there. And right there. Good. Good. So the main thing that you'll want to focus on is when she redirects and giving her at least that positive engagement.
Lily.
There you go. And right there. And right there. So even though you're really focused on going where you want to go, you want to be also watching her for when she redirects back to you.
Lily, place. Yes. And retreat. Sorry.
It's fine.
You're so good. Girl. Here, can I get you to hold this? Oh.
That's right.
Do you mind if I go around one more time?
Yeah, and I'll kind of help you out a little bit here, so we can kind of show you what I mean. Right there. So when she stopped and you stopped and she looked back at you, that's your mark moment. So I'll let you know every time too.
Okay, that's my mark moment. That's the moment for me to praise
Give her that praise or at least that attention and engagement because now she's trying to re-engage with you, and if you ignore that too many times, she's just going to continue to check out.
Yes,
There. Good.
girl.
There.
Oh, good job.
There you go.
Lily Lou. Yeah.
Good. And you kind of see how that a little bit of encouragement like keeps her wanting to. Yeah. almost. So instead of trying to get her attention back, what I would do there is just continue walking and just pay attention to when she regains her attention. There,
Yes, Lily. Girl.
there, good. There you go.
Like a lily.
Good.
Girl.
Very good.
Girl, Lily.
Good. So it might be one of those harder habits to break, right? Because you know she's not paying attention and you want her to, so then you start engaging her more. But every time that you do that,
As soon as I change, well, we'll say I'm like she looks at me, she's looking for acknowledgement, she's looking for.
yeah, just acknowledgement, engagement. Like you can give her a treat, and that'll help keep her motivated and positively reinforced. But so long as you at least give her something when she's checking in with you, it really helps her out. Because like the environment is never gonna stop giving her things to smell and pull towards and get excited
I
for.
think she gives you that look.
Yeah, just give her
Acknowledge her.
something else back. Because like I said, this will never stop. the
That's very helpful.
the goal is to just get her to like check in with us every now and then. Are you ready to try with the collar?
Sure.
Okay. That's no problem. So I have it properly.
Right.
And the main thing is you want to just be careful with the way you roll it, because sometimes people pull the collar around the neck. So I just gently put it in so that way it doesn't
So it's not
accidentally
really tight, per se.
No, it's got about like 4 or 5 fingers width as opposed to your regular collars too, and that's just to give it some leeway. So now same thing, same exercise.
But give her the same verbal and give her all the same cues.
Now you really want to try to help her before she triggers the end of the leash as much as
Like
possible.
don't use the leash to do all the correction.
But if it happens, then it'll be on her part, and it'll help to reinforce her
No,
from
that's
that
good for
pressure.
us 'cause we always tend to,
Use the leash.
well, you tend to default to the correction to the collar.
That's where our training is definitely a bit different from other places that like purposefully do it so that way they purposefully
Right,
hurt
you
the
train the
dog
collar.
over and over again until they like, okay, well, I don't want to do that anymore.
So use her name for. I watched the video and I was.
Good girl. Yep. In this scenario, like I said, trying to get her before she pulls or if she's too distracted. Yeah, just trying to help her out a little bit more at first. Very good. And you kind of see this really combines in with all the training that was already done too, because she should be checking in, she should be paying attention. So you're almost never, hopefully, going to trigger it anyways, unless it's said one of those really high intensity moments where she just gets suddenly distracted. That'll be another something you'll want to pay attention to, because like when there are kids running around playing in the court, I'll just switch it back onto the normal collar in case she gets excited and she wants to play with them, and pulls a little bit for that reason. But like oh She's great. She can scare some
Excited.
yeah she can scare some
Really?
people because she'll bark because she's excited, but I
I
just
would
let
do
them
a
know.
brush.
No,
Yeah.
she's been great with kids, little dogs too. The dog
How
park.
when she starts wearing up and barking.
I just redirect her to calm down and settle.
Okay.
Same thing as like with the jumping. I'll just kind of calm her down by staying calm and just asking her to do one thing. How's that?
It felt good.
All right. Well, I'll do the same thing here.
Look, see, I'm not gonna go for her. I like it. Like both of you look really engaged together.
And you can tighten that if you need to, so that way it's not just slipping off of her. Or you can take some treats and just put it in your front pocket as well, because she has pouch pockets in the front. Yeah.
You are such a good girl. Oh my goodness. Ready to go.
Good. There you go.
Good girl.
Bless you. There you go. Good.
I didn't mean to do that with her.
It's okay. That's why a lot of times, like if she does get stuck, I will just keep going and I'll try to go in front of her to help encourage her. Because most of the time when she
Instead of
sees
calling
that
her to come to me, just keep going.
yeah, because and then I'll notice if she's still like nose stuck into the grass or something, then I'll use her name. But then if she ignores that, then I just keep going and it'll initiate the pressure for
But
you.
you do give her the time to sniff and do all her like things sometimes. You know, she's
Yeah.
gotta go to the bathroom and sniff.
Yeah, we don't want her to be a zombie dog, or at least I don't. So, it doesn't just like kind of mindlessly following you. um, so that's where is that taking the time properly during your walks, so that way you're not rushing her. She's not pulling you, you're not pulling her. The walk is just much more enjoyable. Good girl.
Lily. Oh,
Good, there you go. Very
that's
good.
a good girl.
Perfect. Good. So hopefully you ladies can see if you're doing things properly, you shouldn't need it at all anyways.
Yeah,
But
she
it's
didn't
there for just
really
those
use
moments.
it. Yeah, no, she was. And we were saying in our neighborhood, all the kids, the squirrels, the dogs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be the best to use like during the day. Right, right, Lily.
Well, you make us want to work with her, where before I feel like we didn't have the appropriate training ourselves.
Yeah.
Not this moment, but like with our former trainer.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sometimes like especially when I'm working with families, kids too,
No,
work
this
with
is
like
so helpful. Thank you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
no problem. Sometimes it's just about working together on a problem, and
Well,
then
I always had the training was they should obey our every command and be perfect was the mindset where you're teaching us to work with Lily and Lily's personality.
yeah,
That's innate in her.
yeah, because like generally like with training, because I work with a lot of puppies too, and a lot of either like abuse cases or anxiety dogs. So like the last thing you want to do is scare them more because they're just trying to learn to do the right thing. So we want them to be obedient, but my goal is kind of like it almost seems old school for nowadays, but we want the dog to actually want to do things for us. We want
Because She
them to
loves
follow us.
behaving. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like that's how I grew up with dogs.
Yeah,
And nowadays it's just like it's very strict and stern, and they just have to do things. I want it. The training is definitely a little bit harder because I want her to want to do things. You
Yeah.
know, but you get the same outcome in the end. It just sometimes takes more effort.
Yeah. Do you mind if we work this a little bit on Lehman just to
That's why I brought the
reinforce it
bowl,
for us?
brought the bowl out for you guys, and you said you can do it while you're on the walk, like I did in the video.
I saw when you dropped it.
And but the platform definitely helps, or at least getting her situated in a spot first. Just because like randomly dropping it can be hard, and she'll always kind of go first because of the movement. But if you slow it down and then place it, and you notice that she's still standing still and she's still leaving it, then I would maybe do the same thing, but I would drop it from a higher distance, and then you build up to the point. She's really bad at that initial part, so that's where like the counter surfing, you're gonna want to work with her initially, and then let her go from there, because her initial part is still very like her impulse is still there,
Yeah.
for sure, but it's not as bad like even right after.
Subsequent.
Yeah. And that's just gonna take time and practice. Something else too that I was thinking about on the way here is creating your own boundaries from the kitchen. Usually whenever the rooms kind of separate would be a good natural boundary. And when she tries to come with you there, ask her to leave it back in the other room and just keep her there. And then if she tries again, just put her back in the other room.
Did you say
Try
in
again, put
the
her back.
kennel or just like tell her to place?
Oh yeah, just place and stay. Like if like this was the walkway between the kitchen and like the carpeted living room, just you go and you have her stay there. That's all. And then when she wants to follow you, once again, have her stay there. And then once she stays there and you can go, that's when I would give her like a longer lasting chew treat or something, and give her something there for leaving and staying. And that'll help just kind of build her that positive association and those good habits of just staying outside
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Because the crate is a good idea, the gates are a good idea, except, like I said, it's one of those other situations where she's not having to control herself and she's not
Right.
developing
Right.
because she just physically can't get to you. It'd be good if, it's like Thanksgiving and, you're really busy
absolutely.
trying to cook
Yeah.
and things like that and you don't want to work on it. But whenever you can and you have the free time, it'd be better to practice it so that way she builds that discipline on her own.
Another question. We have a harness. Would you recommend sticking with the collar versus the harness?
The harness can kind of encourage the pulling.
Really? Okay.
Because it's not as uncomfortable as
Oh, I
the
see.
collar.
Yeah.
But if she's doing well, or if she's just out for a free run, or a game of fetch or something like that, and she'll pull a little bit, and it's not a big deal, then that'd be fine.
Got it.
Just make sure
Okay.
it's not letting her, like encouraging her to be okay with continuing. All right, let's practice the movement. Yeah.
Should I change the collar to the
You
word
can
the
leave it on
treasure?
there, and that'll also help to reinforce when
Okay.
she, jumps the gun on you. Just, be mindful that you're doing that too. And you can also do it without it too. Done it with and without.
Lily.
She's about the same because, like I said, it's just that initial part.
Yeah. Nothing in there right now, bud. Okay, Lily. Back up. Over here.
And this will kind of be like giving her, getting her food bowl ready and everything. So you already have some kibble or some treats in there, and you can ask her to leave it while you're putting it down.
Yeah, because she's like,
Okay, Lily. Leave it. Good. Good, leave it. See that? See that? Good. Yeah. So.
Now, if you want, you can hold on to the leash and ask her to leave it and give mom maybe another treat to put into there, or have mom move the bowl around as well. This was one of the problems that I had, like, came across when I was trying to film myself and doing it, because I would end up like accidentally kind of pulling her with me as I was trying to get away from her to like put things down. So it's definitely an easier two-person exercise. There you go. Good. Very good.
Walk around.
She's like nice.
Good girl.
She's good girl. Leave it.
Very
Very
good.
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 She's like, I'm not touching it.
Walk around her.
Yeah, so go ahead and try to walk by it. Now just be mindful of the length of the leash, because if she fails, you still don't want to reward her for being able to get to it. Good, there you go.
Very good.
And all you're looking for is where is her focus? Is she looking at it, and then does she stop when you ask her to leave it? Good. See what I mean?
Yeah, she's doing well. Good girl.
Yeah, good. Like I said, it just goes back to when we did the exercise before. We want her, when she hears leave it, to take her focus off of what she wanted and refocus back onto us. And that's what's going to make it more successful, because now she's listening to us as opposed to just being like absorbed into getting what she wants. Good girl.
Very good. You're so good.
Nelly Brown. Yes, Leave it.
Good.
Like,
Good girl.
I go ahead and pick up the bowl, and what I would do is have her place, and like that last exercise is another really good one for that impulse control, because when you're kind of moving towards her with the treat, she wants to go and get it, and that'll help with the snapping too, because I'll ask her to leave it, and I'll continuously get closer and closer, and then I'll let her have it.
so put her in place, and then
Just because it might start getting warm on the
will you place?
top a little bit. I think it's still early. Yeah, it's not bad.
Let her go,
You can let her go or hold on to it.
and then just bring it towards her.
Yeah, I'll just take a treat in your hand. There you go. And let her see it. And just ask her to leave it. And just slowly bring it towards her.
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
Good.
Thank you. Good girl. Leave it.
Good. There you go.
Good.
That's what you want. You
Leave
see
it.
how she moves now away?
Leave it.
Good.
Thank
There you go.
Good girl.
Now
Leave
give it to her.
Oh, good girl. Okay. It's like a
You'll want to get some practice on your end too,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
Good girl. You're so good. You're so good.
Now remember, this training still requires, like I said, the engagement from you. If you just put a sandwich on the counter and then get distracted by the door or
She'll
the
grab
phone, yeah,
got it.
I have a feeling she's gonna grab it still. So
She'll
it's
be like,
not
yeah.
it's not foolproof by any means from a pup. The owner has a way that you can correct that too, and it's by putting like hot sauce or something in the food or some spiciness. So when she does take it, she gets the correction that way.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would use like the beep or vibrate collar or the shock, and then set up a camera, because like I have the webcam, but you can also just duo yourself or FaceTime yourself on your phones and set one up, and then when she moves towards it, when you're not in the room, have it go off, or have you press the button and say leave it from the other room.
She'll be like,
Yeah, so that way, even though there's nobody around and nobody watching her, that is what helps to condition that behavior of, I should probably still not go for it because I feel like somebody is still watching,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just something that you just have to kind of just do a few times at home, because like I said, she's really good past that initial part. So I feel like if you can just break that conditioning of her from just like
right.
going
It's
towards
just,
it at
well,
home.
it's a great reward.
Yeah, she just got rewarded for doing the wrong thing too many times. That's all.
She looks hot and tired. You wanna see if you can get her to do this?
Oh, she's Lily. Yes. You're not Lily. Leave it. Good girl.
Lily, come.
Good. There you go. Perfect.
Good girl. Leave it. Sit.
Good. There you go.
Wonderful girl.
Good girl.
What a good girl.
You have any
So,
questions, or did you want to go over anything
no, I
else?
think it's just going to be a lot of practice. You have a really nice rhythm with her now. That's really neat to see. Yeah, she looks like I'm so tired.
This is usually why she doesn't bother me at night when I'm actually eating. Because I'm like 9 times out of 10, I'm on the road just eating, unfortunately, fast food while I'm going from place to place in the car, so I don't have any problems. And the only time like I saw her to practice is like actually at dinner time, but by then she's like.
Yeah. Right, Lily?
And I was telling her that's one of the benefits too. Like if you can, get her out as much as you can just to play with the ball or go to a dog park so she can run around and play with friends and get as much of that energy out in a good, natural, positive way as possible. Because if she's at home all the time, just like getting bored and building it up, then it's gonna always be harder overall to work with her, at least while she's still young. And then as she grows older, those behaviors always just naturally taper off too. But it's a good way to counterbalance it when she's younger.
We were told, like, once she has, like, an intense training session, let her chill for, like, an hour, hour and a half to absorb. And do you use that, or do you...
Oh, kind of, because I have to take breaks in between
It's just
dogs
natural.
anyways. Yeah,
It's a
so like when
natural
she
thing.
gets back home, she just kind of relaxes.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll just play with the other dogs anyways, and then she'll relax afterwards.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on how much energy she still has after the session. On like the really hot days with the walking session, she'd have none, but then like sometimes on the dog park days, she'd still be a little hyped up, but then she'll settle down as well. And then especially with the Leave It, because it was just a lot of self-control and it was, kind of boring for her and very strict, she'll have more energy than the other ones. So she'll probably go back home and want to run around and play with the other dogs, kind of be engaged a little bit more, and then she'll take a nap.
Do you, I know this sounds a little... We had a rug for Leave It, but do you recommend something like this more than a rug or place, or... She
The,
seems to have an affinity for this.
the reason why I use an elevated bed is because I've worked with a lot of set breeds, and getting them even that much off the ground really helps to disengage their nose from the surroundings.
There's a purpose, yeah.
Whereas, like, just like a towel or a rug is still so close, then they're not actually off the ground, so they can still kind of get distracted by the smells. It all just depends. What I do to help build a positive association with this is I just put it down whenever we're out for a walk or whenever we're inside, and whenever she gets on it naturally, she'll get a treat. So that's why like she has such a good affinity for it, is just because she knows when it hits the ground, if she goes there, she'll get a treat. It's
Got
just
it.
that one's just classical conditioning.
Yeah. Okay. Good girl.
But it helps too because I can take this to new places like the dog park,
When she knows
or
it's a place. Yeah.
it's something familiar for her.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything. We really
Yeah,
appreciate
TJ, thank you for this additional week. And it's,
We really appreciate it.
and again, I think the key was us.
Oh, I'm just happy to help. She's a sweet girl.
She's a sweet. She is very sweet. She just has so much.
Yeah, a lot of it is just that it's very puppy. It's very impulse
She
control and
seems
high
more-
energy.
She was more of a handful than our other labs, the yellow labs.
She's a chocolate.
But each of them had
Good
their own
girl.
things.